no security guarantees in the minerals deal, yet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is set to settle with the deal regardless. Why seal an unfavorable deal? Let's turn to Professor Christophe Gaudin. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Hello.
Thanks for joining us. So what do you think made Zelenskyy sign the deal even with security guarantees that he has been insisting?
What's becoming increasingly clear these days is that this war was not simply a war for the independence of Ukraine. This war was a war by proxy between America and Russia over the control of Ukraine and Ukraine's natural resources. So it is common knowledge that Ukraine was only able to resist the Russian invasion thanks to American support. American support was not selfless. And now I'm afraid, everybody knew that the bill was to come. And it's what is happening now. Americans are just giving Ukraine the bill for the support they've given over the last 3 years.
Then should we assume there'll be no U.S. security guarantees at all, or will there be more discussions and negotiations in the near future?
There will be discussions, but they will be like business negotiations. You know, former French President Charles de Gaulle used to say that states do not have friends, states have interests. And so this U.S. support to any security guarantees to be given in the future only depends on these guarantees benefiting to them or not. So now the question is not how, the question is more like how much. So there will be negotiations, but it will be business negotiations, unfortunately. They won't be about democracy or anything like that. There will be on money and resources. Money will talk.
So they'll be more like business talks based on national interests and needs. Now, will signing the minerals deal then help Ukraine get invited to peace talks between Trump and Putin, or not as much? What do you think?
Ukraine now is very helpless because when you cannot provide for your own security, by definition, you are to defend on others. So as Ukraine cannot stand for themselves, they will need to find another partner to back for their position. And this is why President Zelenskyy, over the last few days, has been trying to he tried a last movement to turn to Europe to see for the EU to give him some stronger support in these negotiations. But the problem is that Europe, contrary to America, doesn't have much military support to offer. So I'm afraid that for the moment, long story short, what we see is that the world economy is slowing down. Natural resources become more and more precious, less and less abundant. And I'm afraid that both America and Russia will only do what is best in their interest. And the short answer to your question is no. Ukraine will not have much to say in this negotiation.
Well, here's the thing. U.S. officials argue that U.S. access to Ukraine's minerals and natural resources is already a security guarantee because that itself limits and restricts a reinvasion by Russia. Is this a valid argument?
It all depends on the price that is put on these natural resources. So what I mean now is that what you can see all over the world is that the world economy is slowing down. And right now with AI, new technologies and the like, the minerals that Ukraine has to offer are extremely precious for these technologies without getting too technical. So these minerals that Ukraine has to offer will become more and more profitable, more and more expensive. So then, of course, if Russia thinks it is in their best interest to be more pushy in these negotiations, or if the US thinks they can get more from what they invested in weapons, in weaponry, in support over the last few years. Only time will tell. What I can tell you now, for sure, is that these minerals that Ukraine owns are as much of an opportunity as of a curse for Ukraine, because it makes Ukraine a target for imperialist powers. That's what is happening now. Ukraine is having resources, but Ukraine doesn't have the military resources to defend them. And so, as you can imagine, in international relations, this is a very bad place to be.
Well, clearly, Trump is more of a winner here. He's gotten what he wanted, Ukraine's natural resources and minerals. Then what is needed next to bring lasting peace in Ukraine, Professor?
For the moment, it is very difficult to envision a lasting peace with leaders like Trump or Putin. It is very clear that Trump or Putin are not principled people. They do not care for peace. They do not care for democracy. Very, very obviously, I mean, I'm not revealing any secret here. They are only after what they think to be in their country's best interest. And in the case of Putin, this even included waging a war against Ukraine. So as long as we have this sort of populist, aggressive leaders, I'm afraid that lasting peace cannot be achieved. A lasting peace would achieve a deep change of mindset, and this mindset cannot happen without a change of political ideology. And of course, also a change in the leaders of such and such countries.
Alrighty, sir. Thank you so much for your insight and your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.